The New Orleans Saints have just shocked the entire league with a move that nobody saw coming today. We are witnessing a massive shift in the roster as the front office has officially signed wide receiver Brock Rechsteiner after an incredible tryout at rookie minicamp. This is not just any signing because this young man chose the gridiron over the wrestling ring. At the same time, the news gets even heavier for the black and gold faithful as the team has officially placed former draft pick Nick Saldivieri on the reserve list. This move likely ends his career in New Orleans for good right now. The emotional roller coaster of being a Saints fan never seems to end. One moment we are celebrating a fresh face with a legendary pedigree, and the next we are mourning the lost potential of a young man who just could not stay healthy. The energy around the facility is shifting right now. You can feel the urgency in the air as training camp approaches. The decision to bring in Rechsteiner is one that has the city talking. He is the son of wrestling legend Scott Steiner. Most people thought he was headed for the squared circle, but the Saints saw something special in him during those intense weekend workouts. It takes a lot of heart to change your entire life path in just a few days. He showed up to that minicamp with everything to prove, and nothing to lose. The coaches were clearly impressed by his raw athleticism and his ability to catch everything thrown his way. It is the kind of story that makes you love the game of football. On the other side of the building there is a much different mood. Nick Saldivieri was supposed to be a cornerstone of this offensive line. He was a fourth-round pick with high expectations. Now his season is over before it even had a chance to start. This is the second straight year that injuries have robbed him of his dream. It is a heartbreaking reality for a player who worked so hard to get to this level. The front office had to make a business decision. They need players who can be on the field when the whistle blows. This move signals a change in philosophy for the coaching staff. They are no longer waiting for potential to develop and perform now. Let us dive deeper into who Brock Rechsteiner really is and why this signing has everyone buzzing in the Big Easy. He comes from a family of absolute warriors. Growing up in the shadow of a Hall of Fame wrestler like Scott Steiner means you know what it takes to grind. That physical toughness is exactly what the Saints need in the wide receiver room right now. He spent his college years at Jacksonville State, and while he was not the biggest name in the draft, he certainly made a name for himself during his final 2 seasons. He is a guy who knows how to use his body to shield defenders. He averages over 12 yards per catch, which shows he can be a reliable target for our quarterbacks. It is fascinating to think about his transition from wrestling to football. He had a whole career path laid out in front of him. He could have been a superstar in the WWE just like his father and his uncle. Instead, he chose the dirt and the grass of the football field. That tells you everything you need to know about his character. He wants to pave his own way and create his own legacy. The Saints brass noticed that fire during the rookie minicamp. They saw a player who was willing to do the dirty work. He was diving for balls in the dirt and blocking like his life depended on it. That kind of effort is contagious in a locker room. The fans are already starting to rally behind him. We love an underdog story in New Orleans. We love a player who has to fight for every inch they get. Rechsteiner is that guy. He represents hope for the future of the offense. He brings a different kind of energy than the typical rookie. He has been around the spotlight his entire life. He knows how to handle the pressure that comes with wearing the black and gold. This signing is a low-risk and high-reward move for the team. If he can translate that wrestling strength onto the football field, he could become a real problem for opposing cornerbacks in the red zone. The excitement is building, and we cannot wait to see him in action during the preseason. It is truly a fresh start for a player who refused to give up on his dreams today. Now we have to address the more painful part of this update, which involves the offensive line. Seeing Nick Saldivieri placed on the physically unable to perform list is a tough pill to swallow for everyone involved. This effectively ends his 2026 season. When the Saints drafted him out of Old Dominion in the 4th round, there was so much optimism. He was seen as a versatile piece who could play multiple positions along the front. He had the size and the footwork to be a long-term starter in this league. But the NFL can be a cruel business. Injuries have defined his time in New Orleans. He has only appeared in 15 games over his career and has only started 6 of them. For a young offensive lineman, those reps are everything. You cannot develop if you are not on the grass. Last year was a total wash because of a knee injury he suffered in training camp. We all hoped that this year would be different. We hoped he would come back stronger and finally claim his spot on the line. But the news today confirms our worst fears. His body just will not cooperate with his ambitions. This move is particularly devastating because his rookie contract is coming to an end. It is very likely that we have seen the last of him in a Saints uniform. That is a heavy thought for a kid who is not even 26 years old yet. He has spent more time in the rehab room than in the huddle. You have to feel for the guy on a human level. He has watched his teammates go out there and battle while he was forced to watch from the sidelines in a brace. The emotional toll of that kind of cycle is immense. It can break a person. The Saints organization has tried to be patient with him, but the NFL stands for not for long for a reason. They have to move on and find someone who can actually play on Sundays. The offensive line has been a major concern for this team for several years now. We cannot afford to have dead weight on the roster even if it is not the player's fault. It is a cold reality, but the team must win games always. The fallout from these roster moves will be felt throughout the entire preseason. The coaching staff is under immense pressure to get this right. Dennis Allen knows that every roster spot is precious. By moving on from Saldivieri and bringing in Rechsteiner, the team is sending a clear message to the rest of the players. Performance and availability are the only things that matter. You can have all the talent in the world, but if you are not available to play, you are not helping the New Orleans Saints win games. This creates a massive opportunity for the other young offensive linemen on the team. They see an opening now. They see that the team is willing to cut ties with a former draft pick if they have to. That should light a fire under everyone in that room. On the other hand, the wide receiver room just got a lot more interesting. We have some established stars, but the depth has always been a question mark. Rechsteiner is coming in with a massive chip on his shoulder. He wants to prove that he is more than just a famous last name. He wants to prove that he belongs in the NFL. The fans are going to be watching him very closely during the preseason games. Every catch he makes will be cheered a little louder because of his story. It is the kind of drama that makes training camp so compelling. We are watching the evolution of a team in real time. We are seeing the old guard move out and new blood move in. It is a necessary process, but it is never easy to watch. The front office is taking a gamble here. They are betting on the raw potential of a wrestler turned football player over the injury-prone history of a drafted lineman. It is a gamble that could pay off big time if Rechsteiner develops into a reliable weapon. The Saints need playmakers who can create mismatches. At 6 feet tall and built like a brick house, Rechsteiner has the physical tools to be that guy. He just needs the coaching and the opportunity to show it. We are entering a new chapter in the 2026 season, and the stakes could not be higher for the city of New Orleans and its fans. As we look at the landscape of this team, heading into the summer, it is clear that the front office is not afraid to make the tough calls. Signing a player like Brock Rechsteiner shows that they are looking for grit and determination above all else. They want players who are hungry and ready to fight for their spot on the roster. At the same time, the departure of Nick Saldivieri serves as a somber reminder of how quickly things can change in professional sports. One day you are a high draft pick with a bright future, and the next you are looking for a new career because your body let you down. It is a reminder to every player on that field to never take a single snap for granted. The fans in New Orleans are some of the most passionate in the world, and they deserve a team that is willing to do whatever it takes to win. We want to see that fire on the field every single Sunday. This news today is just the beginning of what promises to be a very intense training camp. We want to hear from you on this one. Tell us if you think Brock Rechsteiner will make the final roster or if his wrestling background is too much to overcome. Also share your feelings on the team moving on from Nick Saldivieri. Hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more Saints news. Your support helps us grow.